Nobody is sitting down right now. And for good reason. We have not only champions of the past, we have world champions of the present. Where's the skills in the building?
On December 14th, New York City was buzzing with tension, and it wasn't just the holiday rush. Jake Paul, known for stirring up controversy, had a run-in on the streets with none other than Andrew Tate. And let's be honest, Jake had it coming. For months, the air had been thick with drama between the two. They didn't plan on meeting that day, but when their paths...
It's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters who would...
crossed, Jake couldn't resist throwing out some wild insults. What happened next? Pure chaos. Andrew Tate had warned Jake long before this encounter. He'd said, "You're desperate for a reality check," and he was right. Tate's message was clear: combat sports are a serious business. The dedication it takes, the sacrifices fighters make, it's not all glitz and glory. Most of the fighters never...
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Fucking Google it if you want to know more. Any day, anytime.
But Tate had already lived that life. As a four-time world kickboxing champion and a millionaire, he knew what it took. Jake Paul? Well, we all know what he's about. He built his name by calling out legends like Mike Tyson, picking fights with people who'd boost his undefeated record, and pushing boundaries to stay in the spotlight. But on December 14th, Jake wasn't just facing another call.
Work! Come on, fight! Listen! Hey! 50 seconds! Come on, 20 seconds to walk us. Let's go! Come on, work! Work! Good! Work! 10 seconds! Work!
Out. No, he was facing Andrew Tate, who had something to prove. And he did. Tate stepped up like a man with nothing to lose, telling Jake straight up, "If you want to fight, send a contract. I'll take a break from my retired life to knock you out." It was no longer about social media feuds or bravado. Tate's message was simple and loud: if Jake really...
Yeah, he'll never do that, though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And two,
he's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better. He might
and it's funny to say, like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never box.
Wanted to prove himself, he should take it to the ring. And honestly, after all the trash talk and hype, that's exactly what people were waiting for. For those who've been living under a rock, Andrew Tate is a name that's hard to ignore. A former kickboxing champion, with a reputation as big as his wallet, $710 million, to be exact, Tate isn't just someone to mess with. And on that street in New York, it was clear, he wasn't about to let Jake Paul get away with it anymore. Here's the revised version of the script with your latest section, reworked to appeal to the target audience of Americans aged 30 to 70. Andrew Tate isn't someone who does things halfway. This wasn't just a casual meet-up or a quick jab on Twitter. Tate approached Jake Paul in the middle of a busy street, surrounded by fans, all armed with smartphones, ready to capture every moment of what was about to be a public reality check for Jake. And let's just say, Jake's usual bravado? It quickly took a back seat. If his confidence had a volume knob, it was as if someone turned it.
Some of these crossover fights, obviously I know that you and Jake Paul have had your disagreements. Do you think that Jake's gotten better as a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know.
The way down to zero. Jake Paul thrives on confidence. It's the engine behind his entire career. Whether he's trash-talking opponents or flexing for his 20 million followers, that confidence is what sells his fights and keeps his brand alive. But in that moment, when Tate stood right in front of him, that confidence vanished. Andrew Tate wasn't just some random guy Jake could dismiss or brush off. This was the real deal. A four-time kickboxing world champion with a reputation that matched his wealth. And when Tate stepped up, it was clear, this wasn't just another social media beef. It was something entirely different. With a quick jab, it was clear Jake Paul wasn't facing just any opponent. This wasn't someone Jake's team carefully selected to make him look good. No, this was Andrew Tate, a guy who knows exactly how to handle himself. Jake might be a loudmouth, but even he knows better.
Two brothers, one cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to.
You can say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is after me. I'm just trying to live peaceful. But of course, I have absolute faith in myself and my brother, and I know what we've been through, and I know the kind of men we are.
And to mess with Tate. Tate's presence alone is enough to throw anyone off. Unlike Jake, who's known for talking a big game and throwing punches, Tate doesn't have to raise his voice. His towering figure and calm confidence say it all. It's almost funny seeing Jake, the guy who's always ready with a comeback, left completely speechless. You know things are bad when the self-proclaimed king of trash talk has nothing to say. This wasn't some random showdown. Tate had been watching Jake for a while. Jake Paul made a name for himself calling out aging fighters and legends past their prime, all while cleverly avoiding real threats. Tate saw right through it, and it didn't sit well with him. For someone who spent his life honing skills and staying at the top, he wasn't about to—
That's delusion. I'm sorry. Look, Andrew, fighter, legitimate, badass motherfucker, strong mentality. I'm sorry, Tristan Tate is the weak link.
I say let's run
He got a bad shoulder. He's shaped like a gingerbread man. I don't want no beef, but that's delusion.
PFO will set this up.
A MMA double tag team match.
10 million for everybody.
You might have a fight on your hands.
That would go crazy.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. No, seriously.
I'm
let's
about
do
the
it.
action. Like I'm less talk now. Let's just fucking go.
Yo, but you know for a fact, me and Jake will travel to Romania. We will make this happen. We'll do it wherever you want, whatever condition.
let Jake off easy. For fans of combat sports, watching Jake Paul carefully pick opponents must have been frustrating. And when Jake called Andrew Tate a washed-up fighter, that was the last straw. Tate didn't approach Jake for the spotlight.
Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real fucking world, Jake. There's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real fucking world. Men who are dangerous and dedicated their lives to this sport and don't have a fucking fraction of the money you have because you managed to become a fucking clown.
Or the money, he didn't need either. What he wanted was to send a message: respect for combat sports is earned, not bought with followers or trash talk. It's about proving yourself in the ring, something Jake seems to avoid at all costs. Tate wasn't there to play games. He showed up to remind Jake that real respect in this world isn't handed out based on viral moments. It's earned through tough, genuine competition. Now, as for Jake's boxing career, sure, he's improved. There's no denying that. But let's be honest, he's been picking easy fights with aging, past their prime guys. It's a strategy that works, as Jake keeps winning and making money.
Keep going. Work. Come on, Marshall. Keep going. Work.
Come on, fight.
Hey. Come on, 20 seconds to walk. Let's go.
But there's a big difference between getting the win and earning real respect. Then came December 14th, a day that started out like any other, until it didn't. On a crowded street, surrounded by fans and cameras, Andrew Tate made his move. Within minutes, the footage was everywhere, trending with hashtags like
You know what? If I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world too. But let me explain something to you about combat sports. There are a whole bunch of men out here who will never be as famous as you, will never make the money you've made, who would kick the living fuck.
Tate versus Jake and hashtag exposed. This wasn't a staged event or some PR stunt to boost engagement. The tension was real. You could see it in Jake's reaction, his usual cocky remarks and forced laughs.